Dear souls, thank you for being with us today. Oh my gosh, you are so magnificent. And we are so blessed that we get to be in your field. You think you're just watching a video wherever it is you are. But as we dance through time and space, we can feel the connection with you and are so grateful to literally bask in your magnificence. So thank you for attending today. Today, our topic is, are you afraid of fame? I think we need to say fame. Are you afraid of fame? And the answer is on a reincarnational level, yes, of course. Unless you're a brand new soul, in which case it's very unlikely you'd be watching this video or even be on planet Earth at this time of ascension. You've got experiences from other lives, and those experiences are deeply rooted in your unconscious, creating all kinds of programs affecting you about really letting out your magnificence. So today we're going to talk about three of the major kinds of instances that have happened in your many lives that are now ready for you to acknowledge and clear. You see, we're moving into ascension. Part of that is you being recognized for how great you are. And this is not an ego thing. This is a recognition that you are made of God stuff and you are expressing yourself as a God source being, which cannot help be reverent, which cannot help but shine light. To fully step into your ascension, you will embrace these aspects. And that means, of course, letting go of the unconscious programs that have blocked you in, that have held you back. So let us speak of three main ones. First are those lives where you've achieved fame and then used it terribly. Not that there is any terrible use. Whatever you do is perfectly fine. You complete the experience and you grow from it. You gain the wisdom of the experience. But for some of us, these experiences were what we would call traumatic or so shameful, for whatever other judgments we placed on it, that we then just didn't experience them fully and didn't complete them. For example, the biggest one in the channel Peter's history was during the time of Atlantis. You've all heard stories of the Great Crystal and how they used the energy and power of it to create a society. Well, Peter was the guy who did PR for it. He was the one telling everybody, oh, it's safe. Oh, it's going to be really good for us. Then, of course, the thing exploded and killed millions. And so Peter had the death of millions on his hands. It's like, oh, I don't want to be famous again. Yet here he is with our prompting and in this lifetime, stepping out into the public eye and telling people, there's spirit out there. There's awakening out there. You can have this ascension. And it brings back all the stuff, which he's dealt with mostly in this instance, of having been someone who used their fame in a way that really hurt other people. So that must be cleared. And it's not just using your fame. Sometimes it's using your power. The two are very closely created. There's many lifetimes where he's been in charge, led a platoon of soldiers to the death, worked on a ship where everybody died because of decisions he made. Those make us afraid to just even step out and make a decision, let alone make a decision in public where we can be judged. So those all need to be healed. Now, we're talking of these past lives because, as our message to you has always been, clear, clear, clear. Many of you have started to do beautiful work on relieving the blockages you have in this lifetime that you're aware of. Now we need to go back further into the unconscious and clear the next layer. The channel Peter is experiencing this in a very big way. Months ago, we told him he was going to get big, get ready for it. And of course, his ego was like, oh, yeah. But then it triggered all the unconscious programming from other lives, the fear of what's really going on here. And so now, as he started to get ready to release a book, soon there will be a TV show, it's going to take off. And he's going to be noticed. And then all the fear programming will be triggered around fame unless he becomes aware of it. So, of course, we helped him. He had a beautiful experience the other day, paddleboarding, something he loves to do. In the middle of the lake, he was resting after standing and paddling for about an hour. He was resting for paddling back in, and it just came to him. And that's when this channel came to him. And in the middle of the lake, he sat there and shook and processed and started to sob a bit just to let it out and have a clearing. So it's not that difficult when you do your internal work, when you do it for this lifetime and make a connection to source. You can then ask to be shown or just have it shown automatically when appropriately. What is up? And you can clear it in a few minutes. And nothing dramatic about it. In his case, it was 10 minutes on a beautiful lake. Of course, the water and Mother Nature was helping power this, but it was just a beautiful experience. So now let us speak of the other two aspects that fame can create fear around and that you have experienced in past lives and maybe experiencing in this life. The first one is you become famous. You get to the top of the pinnacle. You're the top of your field. You're recognized. You're in the media and everything. And then what? You see, fame was wonderful. You fulfilled that. You had that drive. Now you're the most famous. You'll see much literature. You'll see many movies and stories and biographies of people who hit the top of their career and then turn into alcoholics or drug addicts because they're empty. What happens is when you complete something, then you're ready for the next step. And the next step, always when you complete something magnificent like a career of fame, is connecting to source. That's the only thing that fills the hole on the inside. This other stuff can drive you, but the only thing that really satisfies you in this larger scheme of things is when you're in flow with source. Then you're filled all the time, whether you get recognition or not, because source loves the heck out of you and you just love being loved. And then you can walk forward and be famous and even humble, perchance, but not necessarily. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, look at me, I'm doing incredible things. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's a beautiful thing. We are human and we kind of want that as being human. It's part of the human experience, craving significance. Just something to be aware of. You're embodied as a human, you crave significance. It's fine to want to be noticed. But those who have achieved great notoriety, many of them burned up because they were then left with the emptiness that, why did I do all this? What was the meaning of it? The meaning of it was that you achieved fulfillment. If you know that you desire something and you achieve fulfillment, then that shows you that you are a powerful being and you can create that. And you need to understand, oh, I achieved fulfillment. Now let me go after what's next on my list. And it could be a different career. You see that with athletes. They get really good in one sport and they want to do another sport because that's what they know. But you also see people who become very, very wealthy, very powerful, famous, and then all of a sudden become philanthropists. They actually try to do good with what they've acquired and use their fame to take on a cause or to help, donate money. And that's quite laudable and wonderful. It's not as powerful as just connecting to source, but it's the way they understand it in their world. Oh, okay, this is in service to others. It's a step closer to being connected to source. So they do that, and then they get more fulfillment. We're trying to tell you that as you become famous, service is really all that's left, and you can skip all the intermediary steps unless you enjoy them. and you'll just be in service to God and the planet, and everything will be just hunky-dory. But you'll have to deal with the lifetimes where you were famous. And there were some, no matter how miserable you think you are now, you've probably had 1,000 lifetimes at least. There were times when you were quite a person of notoriety and probably did not feel fulfilled. Not felt the void inside you, the connection to be closer to source. So that has to be processed and felt. Feel the pain of that emptiness. And then that, of course, open you up. And then in this lifetime, you can be connected to source and be as famous as you want. Now, the last and final of these ways that we need to clear our fear of being famous is from the lifetimes where we achieve notoriety and then we're attacked by those who were afraid or scared or had their own ego issues where they couldn't allow somebody else to be famous because it felt like a tread on them. And so they were attacked. Okay? And you see this in our society all around you. Politicians believe that mudslinging is the way to win. Oh, I produced the most disgusting 30 seconds of information about you. Vote for me. I'm a good person. And we call that politics. And of course, we carry that hatred. And, let's get our whatever it is, whoever the popular party person is, let's get their youth and then go out there and put on the brown shirts and go and attack everybody else and then say, oh, I'm being a patriot. This is how I express love for my country, by hating on somebody else who's in my country. So it's all over politics, but it's not just limited to that field. Our media entertainment system does it with famous actors, actresses. Oh, let's do the expose. You're not really, maybe I'll do. In fact, being a skeptic is like a thing. It's like you can have a whole website and people will pay you money to just trash other people, whether it's worthy or not to do. So that happens. And then those of you who engage on the internet, do you ever get into those nice discussion threads and then see people go on and on and on? Sometimes there are rules of politeness, but still there'll be 30 posts on each side about, oh, I just said this word. And it's like, no, that's not the word to say because whatever reason it's incorrect. And therefore you are incorrect. And I'm going to put these subtle jabs about your stupidity and my superiority in it. And it just goes on and on and on. So at all levels. Now, you may think this is all external, but of course it is not. The outside always reflects the inside. And if it's going on so prevalently in the world, it means it's going on so prevalently in us. It means we have this conflict. And these are these past lives I'm telling you about that you can sort out and then just walk out of the conflict and be free. So this is why it's super important to understand that because ascension is taking place, you're becoming lighter. All the stuff is going to come to you. It needs to be sorted out. Darkness cannot ascend into the light, so it has to be exposed and cleared. And unless you're conscious of it, then it may come up to you with all kinds of self-defeating behaviors and fear and trap you and make it seem worse at the time. So we're bringing you this message to say that many people are far enough along such that unknown to them, unconscious programming will surface and show them fear of their fame. How, oh, other people will attack me because they're jealous. Or how I will use my fame and do terrible things with it. Or how I will achieve fame and then have to face the emptiness I've been covering up by trying to be famous this whole time because I'm not connected to source. So these are three very real things. And we just wanted to share them with you, let you know. It's next on the plate. It's up on the planet. This channel, Peter has experienced it in a big way. He's done enough work and he spent most of his time in service. So it makes it easier for him to address these things. That was why he can be on the lake for 10 minutes and get a good chunk of it just cleared, have the awarenesses of it, not freak out, and then turn right around and say, oh, next video coming up. And we happily agreed. Yes, Peter, you start the video. You do the physical 3D stuff of recording and showing up, stepping aside and letting us speak. And then done his service now. Makes it even easier in the future. So we hope that you become famous. Yes, soar, 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 fly, be big, because that's the magnificence of who you are. That's who we feel and touch every time we tap in. We feel and touch you, which means we touch your God essence. You are so beautiful. You are so great. You may not be feeling it, but it is you. So just spend a moment. We've been subtly sending energy along this entire talk to help you welcome your magnificence. And we're going to amp that up now. So just breathe in. Feel how magnificent you are, because that is the spark of God you're feeling in you. And then as it triggers all those places of darkness, oh, I'm afraid to be this big and this magnificent. Know that clearing awaits you. It's available because you are the one carrying the ascension. It's not the other way that the ascension is carrying you. You think that's what's going on with the energetics, but no, you're the one carrying the ascension. You chose to be on the planet at this time. Your soul, just like we are. The only difference is Peter is aware that we're doing this. You're just, at this point, maybe cut off from your own internal greatness, your own sacred higher self. You don't realize that, yeah, it's being directed and being handled. And all you got to do is show up and then feel it. And it can be a big, scary thing at first and may take you a while to get there. Or it can be 10 minutes on a beautiful lake. You're blessed. Receive it. Thank you for being with us. Hello, I'm Peter D. Thank you so much for viewing this message. I'm humbled by everything that's happened since I've been working to share ascension and awakening with people. And I'd like to invite you to come on that train too. The simplest thing you can do is please like and subscribe this video. That will help the YouTube algorithm put this video in front of more people so the message will get out there. And of course, you just carrying the beautiful energy that you are is the most amazing thing you can do for uplifting the planet. So thank you for being that. Thank you for sharing your beautiful time with me on this video. And if you feel motivated, I'm grateful to accept any donation you choose to give. Please see below for links. It'll help. Stay blessed.